Top News, I'm Mel Usher.
Experience the smooth, rich flavour of McCafe today. Expertly crafted by trained baristas, just the way you like.
The Coalition says the nation's finances would deteriorate over the next 2 years if it's elected because of temporary cost of living measures like the cut to petrol tax. But over the following two, deficits would be smaller than currently forecast. The opposition says promised savings like a reduction in the number of public servants would leave the budget better off in the long run. Meantime, Peter Dutton has visited an agricultural festival in Tasmania as he continues his last-minute marginal seat blitz. Zach De Silva is travelling with the opposition leader.
The stalls are bustling here at AgFest, which is being held amid rolling hills and towering gum trees southwest of Launceston. Peter Dutton has done a rare street walk alongside Tasmanian Liberal Premier Jeremy Rockcliffe, wandering down the gravel roads here to take selfies and shake hands with attendees. He's spoken to a stall holder selling cat diggers and then knelt down in a sand pit to play with some toy trucks with two children.
Are you a John Deere man? What do you like? You like orange.
This festival's being held in the ultra-marginal Labor seat of Lyons, which the Coalition is hopeful of picking up come polling day.
The Prime Minister maintains nuclear power is not viable as he comes under scrutiny over his criticism of the Coalition's plan. Anthony Albanese says it would cost $600 billion to build 7 nuclear reactors in Australia. The opposition argues the figure is distorted because the facilities would replace existing coal-fired power plants. But campaigning in Perth, Mr Albanese says nuclear doesn't stack up.
He could visit the site in Queensland and what he'd see is a coal-fired power station that isn't operating. Why is it not operating? Because towards the end of their life, there's issues with water, there's issues with ageing of these coal-fired power plants, and they're shutting down.
The earth has been moving in the southern Flinders Ranges. There's been a small earthquake, a magnitude 1.5 recorded at Bullaroo Centre late morning. Australia's favourite surfwear brands are back home, saved from the collapse of their US parent company. Quicksilver, Billabong and Roxy are among a number of brands that have been picked up by a local company, Caprice Australia. The deal will see the 200 Australian stores, websites and their staff continue operating. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Flash sale event now on at Gasman. For 6 days, enjoy up to 50% off selected styles. End Sunday.
It's selection night for Port and the Crows. The Power take on the Bulldogs in Ballarat this weekend. Adelaide need to make at least 3 changes to cover injury and suspension when they meet Carlton at home on Saturday. Round 8 in the AFL kicks off tonight with Essendon and the Kangaroos at Marvel Stadium. To cricket, Australian all-rounder Glenn Maxwell is set to miss the rest of the IPL season with a broken finger. The LA Lakers are out of the NBA playoffs, going down to the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 5, 96-103. And Barcelona and Inter Milan have drawn 3-3 in their first leg of their Champions League semi-final. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon at Hendon, a car v Stobie Pole, Tapley's Hill Road near West Lakes Boulevard, Elizabeth, a crash there, Winterslow Road near Elizabeth Way, Paraka urgent telecommunication works at Main North Road near Montague Road, at Clovelly Park, bitumen has been removed on South Road just near Dawes Road, but no great delays just near Audi, so that's good, different, and cameras, Gavin Road, Dry Creek and Cross Road at Highgate. South Australia RAA Rewards is here with hundreds of ways to save every day. It's better to be a member with RAA Rewards. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Mostly sunny this afternoon, sunny tomorrow 23, Saturday mostly sunny 25, Sunday mostly sunny 27. Right now it's 20 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, the Prime Minister and opposition leaders zero in on Adelaide amid their final campaign blitzes. Adelaide's lucky northern suburbs, 2 big lotto wins. The King's message to other cancer sufferers and car insurance giveaway wars, cheaper groceries, shopping rewards and cash back. The big incentives to get you to switch. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide. The 5AA Sports Show. Rowey
I am flabbergasted.
and Timmy G.
Absolute sports festival.
Good afternoon on Team Selection Thursday. Plenty of changes expected today across both sides of Port Road as we build up to Thursday night football tonight to kick off round 8 of the season. Sam Tugwell welcoming in Rowey and Timmy G.
Yeah, thanks very much, Sam. Do appreciate it. It's Thursday night and it is selection night. Crows will have to make at least 3 changes. Port Adelaide at least 1 change. But we'd love you to get involved. Love listener interaction. 8223 0000. So much so do our listeners love being involved in the show that I had a avid 5AA listener, Don at Pennington, listener and contributor for a long time on this show, Stephen. Big fan of yours.
Welcome.
Wore his Crows hat. Came out to Royal Regency today.
Oh, no.
And followed me around.
Oh, hang on. So now you've got a gallery.
Whole 9 holes. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And
Gee whiz.
he was giving me tips, advice, yes, on all sorts of things. And I just, I was in the game for 5 holes and then I completely fell apart. So, Donnie, I'm blaming you. So I've got to blame somebody. So,
What a great day for golf. What a great day.
You know the first thing he said to me, though?
What was?
He said, tell Rowey if he was wearing steel caps, he wouldn't have damaged his toes. He's got to wear steel
Freddie.
caps. I loved it. Straight away into Rowey.
Freddie.
Smart.
What happened to me would happen 1 in a million. I was the 1 in a million, and I've always thought that. Hey, you're a lot of things, but one thing you're not is a front runner.
No.
Never.
No.
Why are you wearing a Liverpool top?
Oh, good point. Good point. And thank you very much for pointing that out.
Front runner.
Yes. No, I've always declared that I followed Liverpool, and because we love the Beatles. But I saw that their away strip this season was incredibly close to the Port Adelaide colours. So you have a look at it, you can see on the live stream.
It does. I thought that when you first
with
walked
a bit of teal. Yeah.
I thought that's what it was.
Let's get
that's
your
a
head out the
Liverpool
way
top.
there, Sam. will
So
you?
what have they won? Their
There we go.
20th championship. They're done.
They're equal.
They've done.
Yep, equal top 20th. They've won the championship. So, yes,
done.
I thought I would do exactly that and be a front runner.
You're a front runner.
Get on board. Boop, boop. But, look, give us a call, 8223 0000. Like I said, be interactive. There are a few changes to be made, and one of them for Port Adelaide is Josh Sin, who's out. Now, we asked Ken Hinkley, who's in?
Logan Evans, Ryan Burton, those type of players who have played back. We've got Jace Burgoyne who can also. We're actually pretty lucky in that area of the ground that we've got some really good options that we get choice in.
So, it sounds like Logan Evans to me. And Logan,
Well, what would you do? I don't care what he says. What would you do?
I'd go Logan Evans.
Yeah.
I thought he was out of the team pretty abruptly.
He was.
He played a quietish half, got subbed out, never to be seen again type thing.
Yeah.
I knew he'd work his way back in because he's a quality lad. Played well on the weekend, had 20 disposals and doesn't waste too many. So I think having a look at the Bulldogs forward line, they've obviously not got Ugle-Hagan. They've not got Sam Darcy. So they're sort of 2 really good talls down. So I think the 2 we got in Radicalea and Aaliyah, they'll do that. They'll cover that. But then the other guys are all sort of medium. So I think Logan suits that, and I think he can cover off.
He did. He did throw in at the 11th hour, Burgoyne can go back, and he can. So is there anything that can go forward or on the wing or in the midfield?
I just feel like...
Is the cupboard bare?
Do you know when you talk about people who can play wing?
Yep.
Jace plays wing really well.
He
I
does.
think the other one they rotate mid through.
Yes.
You need one guy who can play wing.
I think so.
So I don't think
It's
they
a specialist position.
Yeah, they don't like to muck around with it, I don't reckon.
okay.
They only do it if they have to.
Okay.
And look, Jace doesn't let them down when he goes down back. He reads it quite well.
He does.
But yeah, I think they'd like to keep that happening. So they're going to Ballarat, and we know that that's under construction. There's only 5,000 tickets, only 500 of those allocated to Port supporters. But Ballarat, is Ken worried?
I don't know, we're undefeated at Ballarat. Maybe that's a good thing, I don't know. We have got some understanding of the ground. We know what it's like. We know what it presents. We know the challenges of playing at Ballarat. But once the game starts, we don't really look at the scenery too much to see where we're playing. We just play.
That's a good one.
It's well presented, and the fact that Port haven't lost there is, it could be a second home ground. So you never know. You're lucky. Yeah, but I'm glad it's sort of early May and not July. The first time I ever went there was July, and a storm came through and the hail came in sideways. It was horrendous. It was really cold.
I called a Crows game there once. I've never been colder. My nose ran for 2 weeks after that, and it was sleet. It didn't rain, but you couldn't see the other side of the ground because the air was that thick.
Yeah. Do you know that
Thick.
that
Was it
particular
like a
game?
thick thatch?
Paddy Ryder had an Achilles problem. I don't know if you remember that. And they used to put the bag in a microwave. They had a microwave down on the boundary that day, heating up his thing. So when he came on, they put it around his ankle,
wow.
to try and keep the Achilles warm. So that's how cold it can get. We'll see how they go there. Sam Powell-Pepper plays his 150th game and he summarised his career.
The challenges he's overcome, he's had some challenges, from a very young Sam to now a very mature dad, and an ACL. He's had lots of challenges. He's played midfield when he first got going. He's now become a really valuable member. He creates enormous spirit for our footy club, and he's a spirit leader probably, and we're all proud of him. We'll look forward to hopefully celebrating with him on Saturday in his 150th.
Yeah, we had that interview with Sam earlier in the week, and he that was well summarised. He's had those ups and downs, those roller coasters, but he's really settled down into a mature father now, hasn't he?
Well, he is, and he plays like it too. He's got some real maturity. We love your interaction. We've got a unique home-style food text. This is straight off the bat from Maria Albanese. Her uncle is here, loser. Well, he is. And starts like this. Maria starts like this. This is a serious question. Maria, you've never asked a serious question.
Well, it could be serious then if it
starts like that. And then goes on to, should Port rest their best players for the showdown?
No.
No, because... So Maria, it wasn't a serious question.
I mean, you always want to win showdowns. There's no doubt about that. You want to win them, but you
live for the now.
You live for the now. It's back to being non-prudent.
Correct.
You live for the now, and it's important because it is 23 games, not 2. Yeah. And that's a focus that you shouldn't lose. And when you come into that week, no dramas. But you certainly don't start mucking around with selection around that.
We're going to talk to someone that's non-prudent. Don't miss the show. You'll love this bloke.
Yes, indeed.
From the golden ages of Sample.
Yes. On to the Crows, of course, Matty Nix. A few people, they've won 1 out of their last 4, but he's keeping the faith.
I think it's more about belief in our group. So we back in our list and our squad that we're a lot stronger than we've been in the past. And when you do have these injuries, which it's inevitable, you have injuries. Every club has them. It's just a matter of how many and when you get them in the year. We're confident that we're going to be able to perform still at a high level. We know it's going to affect us slightly, but can we keep our game at the level we need to get wins?
That's the question.
Yeah. And that's probably...
The depth is better.
I was going to say the depth is much, and this is what we spoke about last night. Now's the time to see that come to the fore.
Exactly.
We need those guys that have been playing the sample to come up and perform at the level for the Crows.
Well, there's 4 of them that are probably going to come in. You want me to do them now?
Yeah, give it a go.
Well, Fogg and Thilthorpe both had injury clouds. We believe they're both going to play. So there's one thing to play, and Timmy, you'll know there's another thing to perform. You can put your hand up. That's okay. Wow, you're brave. You're playing with A, B, C, D or E.
And the old story, once you're over the line.
That no one gives a stuff that you've got a sore shoulder or a sore finger. So if they both play, which I think is great, the interesting one for Fogg is who goes out for him. So he's in. But let me do it. Hinges out, I think B. Smith will be picked. I'd have probably gone for Bondi. I liked his game last week. And with the smalls of Carlton, he matches up better with those 4 smalls. But I think they'll go with B. Smith. Murray's out. I think they'll go for Jordan Bunce. Yep. I don't mind that, but I wouldn't have minded him not playing. Worrell steps up. He's done a job on Curnow before. And again, you could cover off the smalls, but I think they'll go Butts. Crouch is out. Sam Berry will come in. Now, Sam Berry was terrific last week. Watched the entire game. I wouldn't bring Berry back. He's had his turn. I'd put Luke Pedler in. And people go, power. This kid's got pure power. And what an opportunity. And if they drop Sid Draper for Fogerty, I'll spew up. So who's out?
Really?
Can only be Taylor, Sid Draper, or Dan Curtin. So you pick one. Actually, 822 300 00.
Let your listeners do it, yeah.
Taylor, Draper, or Curtin.
Yeah. Personally, positionally, you're going Fogg in, then it has to be a tall out, so it'd be Curtin for me. I wouldn't be mucking around with Sid Draper.
Oh, please don't.
He's
please don't. And he starts.
He's been one of your best draft choices in a long time.
Well, everybody knows this. He was a sub, didn't play a lot, and the PPT team said, mate, you've got to do 6Ks. You've got to click over your GPS.
Go back and have a run.
Or go and have a half in the sample.
Yeah.
He was the clear most talented and best player on that field. Clear. Not little bit.
No.
Clear. I hope
and
they
that's why
see
you chose him. That's why you chose him.
Yeah.
Get him amongst it. It was also asked exactly about that, Phil Thorpe and Fogarty. Nix, he's pretty confident both will play.
For Das, we'll be confident that he's going to be okay, and Rowey we're pretty confident with as well. He's a pretty tough young lad, and I think, good luck stopping him playing this week.
Yeah, so there you go. Good luck stopping them. So it sounds like both will come in, understandably, at that. Just reading in unique homestyle food text. That's a mighty nice shirt you've got there, Timmy, almost as good as the blonde tips. I got to disappoint you there, Simo. My hair is... They're grey tips. Or ash blonde, as I like to call it.
Can I tell you, with the light in this new studio, it does look like blonde tips. Yeah. That's another thing you'd have never done.
I've never done that. No. Not even in the era of blonde tips.
White boots?
No, I never wore white boots. Always black boots.
I wore the black Copamundi L's my entire career.
We'd swapped to Puma Kings for a while. They weren't bad either. So, and the grass cat. Remember the grass cat?
Yeah. So I had the
for the hard summer ovals. Yeah.
Well done.
There you go.
Well done.
Hey, last night we spoke because WNBL, it's in a bit of turmoil. Adelaide Lightning, of course, in a bit of dramas. We had Steve Wren on last night, of course, owner and manager of the Adelaide Lightning. He had this to say last night.
After a lot of negotiations, they've said they don't want us to remain in the league. So we're going, well, why not? We're already in the league. So if you don't want us to be the owners, that's fine. Get another owner, whether it's Basketball Australia, Larry Kesselman, Grant Kelly, whoever it is. Get another owner. We'll transfer the IP over to them, and then the Lightning survive.
So 24 hours on, a little bit more has happened. This came from Steve Wren himself to players and coaches at Adelaide Lightning. He said, I sincerely hope that if the WNBL do continue with the Lightning brand, you're able to negotiate new contracts, so he's talking to players there, with whomever the new owners might be, or else you are free to move interstate in the WNBL as you wish. So that's a sad line, that one there, isn't it?
It is. It is. Look, it sounds like to me the owners question the WNBL. And as you can, when you've tipped in $3 million, and I love that company, Pelligra, they are so community-minded. When you've done that, you have a right to question the direction of where you're going and where your money's going to. But it sounds like to me the owners handed back the licence. Then maybe they said, we've got to change your heart. This is a big brand, and we need to see this through, because they have integrity. There's no question about that. Then I think they might have tried to sell it, and we heard Steve say, I'll give it away for $1. And I reckon that's where it's landed. They need to find that's exactly right. And I think that's fine. WNBL made a statement, or issued a statement. As we've previously confirmed, it is our strong desire to maintain a professional women's basketball team in Adelaide, and we are committed to 8 WNBL teams in the 2025 season. I don't know where the white knight is, any trusty steeds or anything, but I could safely sit here and say if there's a willingness from the Pelligra group and Rennie, and there's a willingness from the owner of the WNBL, which is Mr. Kesselman, to have a team in Adelaide, it'll be branded the Lightning. I think 1 and 1 will equal 2.
You reckon?
I do.
Well,
I do.
I've got a...
Because there's a willingness.
There's a willingness to have a team in Adelaide. That's all I heard out of that. For me...
But they can't say it's going to be called Adelaide, because then they're speaking on behalf of the current owners, and they own the IP, they own the intellectual property, they own everything.
Correct.
The brand, the logo, the history.
But the WNBL now, ownership group, could well go, we're going to set up the Adelaide Sharks. Nothing to do with Lightning.
Well, that's not on the Pelligra group. That's on them. And if they do that, that's a dog act.
I'm thinking
that'd be a dog act.
I'm thinking that's where they're heading.
Well, that's a dog act.
I'm thinking that because the last line for me in the last paragraph of that statement from the WNBL is, as we previously confirmed, it's our strong desire to maintain a professional women's basketball team in Adelaide. We're committed to 8 teams. That says to me exactly that they are thinking about it. A different team, a different identity.
Yeah, the two parties don't get on. We get that. Here's one party saying, I'll sell it for $1.
But don't sacrifice the history and the...
That's exactly right. So this is on the WNBL. When they get that new owner, or that consortium, and let's say it's the government or it's the AIS or whomever it is, the Pelligra group has said, well, there's the intellectual properties. Let's do a deal.
Hey, last night we had a really good discussion about prudency. About being prudent.
Prudent.
And it was well found out that it's very difficult to be prudent in the game of football when it's going as fast as lightning, and you've got to suddenly take a little bit of due care, and then also with
a thought for the future.
A thought for the future, which is really important as well. And we found that it was difficult. What we thought we'd go with a bit of fun tonight, 82230000, is which former brute of a player wouldn't last a game in today's AFL? Not a game.
Not a game.
Now, you've made up a bit of a list, which I'm pretty impressed with, to tell you the truth.
Well, I was going to say on this topic, at 82230000, let's have some fun. The most unprudent player. So the most unprudent player of the golden era, 60s, 70s and the 80s.
Would not last a game in today.
Would not last a game. And I said to you, Timmy, I reckon it's anyone that had a nickname. And a nickname like this, Lethal.
Oh, Lee.
Knuckles.
Oh, girls.
Yeah. Dave.
Oh, Granger.
Yeah,
Grave Danger.
There's another one, Mad Dog.
Muir.
2-8.
Johnny, so far, we are 100%.
Anyone with a nickname is unprudent. It wouldn't have lasted one game. Well, we know Macca wouldn't. What about this one? Choppy?
Pickett.
Yeah.
He was actually umpired out the game.
He was.
Yeah.
Rotten Ronnie.
Andrews.
Okay. It would have been another one. Oh, Big Bad.
Barry Hall.
Hey, here's one. The Hyphen.
The Hyphen? Not David Rees-Jones.
Yes.
The most reported man in VFL AFL history. Did you know that?
Who's the most unprudent player back in your day?
Yeah,
that wouldn't last
one game in today's
Love
AFL.
it.
Give us a buzz.
Love it. 82230000 is the number. So we're going to speak to one man who we absolutely love on this show. The Jumbo Prince, Rick Davies, is going to join us very soon. We'll have Riley O'Brien in the studio, as well as a host of changes for the Crows awaits for team selection tonight, which we'll have for you at 5:50. And we'll speak to Locky Fogerty as well from the Blues a little bit later on tonight. But it's all about your calls. 82230000 at 22 after 4.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
The 2025 federal election is here, and 5AA is keeping you informed.
There is a real choice.
I want that industry to grow.
Join us Saturday night for up-to-the-minute updates as the numbers roll in. From 7 p.m, Matthew Pantelis will set the scene with the early trends before David Pemberthy and Will Goodings take you through the decisive moments as the result becomes clear.
I put forward a positive agenda.
People have lost faith in this government.
The coverage rolls on until midnight as Sam Daddo keeps you updated and takes your calls.
I'm absolutely proud of our achievements.
The 2025 federal election on 5AA. Always informative. Always Adelaide.
Oh, here's one. Hey, you leaving, mate?
Yeah, one sec, buddy.
Okay, no worries.
Oh, come on. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Parking turning you into someone you're not? Search UPark app today.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. Have you ever dreamed of having the world's best Italian-made tiles in your home? Right now at National Tiles, select any one of our 17 very popular standard range tiles and we'll upgrade you to the world's very best Italian-made tiles absolutely free, saving you a massive $4,000 on an average 80 square metre order. Yes, have the world's best Italian-made tiles and depending on quantity, save up to $4,000 or more. But you'll have to be quick, so rush into National Tiles now and save. Conditions apply.
Well, in Australia, democracy comes wrapped in white bread, drenched in tomato sauce and slightly burnt on one end. Yeah, or in my case, both. Yes, we're talking about the mighty democracy sausage. And this election, Najobi has committed to cranking out thousands and thousands of snags for the big day.
It's one of the things most people look forward to on election day is getting a snag. Now, the name behind Najobi is the Endersby family. They've been farmers on the Fleurieu Peninsula for over 180 years.
Great farmers.
And they are brilliant people.
Great people.
They're famous for their quality cuts of beef and lamb, and they value-packed meat boxes that they deliver. I've actually had one of those. Brilliant stuff. As well as their new product, Now, this is biltong. You've been having a little nibble on this recently, Rowey, and I can't start because if I start, I have to go till I'm finished.
Oh, I did too. I nearly finished the whole pack just then.
Now, it's a healthy air-dry beef snack for runners, foodies and kids. It's not as hard as your jerky.
No.
It's a bit softer than that, but gee, it's moreish. Now, rain, hail or shine, you'll always find the Joby at the farmers market at Wavell every weekend.
Yeah, well done. Lots of great reasons to get behind them. One top of the sizzling rewards for civic duty, the democracy sausage. Thanks to Najobi.
Just call Ken Hall. We'll be there anytime at all. Just call Ken Hall.
Winter is coming, bringing blocked drains, cold showers, leaking roofs and a chilly home. Don't worry, just call Ken. We'll be there when you need us. Ken Hall will get your home ready for winter with heater servicing, gutter cleaning and roof inspections. Stay safe and warm this winter. Just call Ken. Working for you since 1983.
Just call Ken Hall.
Hi, I'm Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. We're finding Adelaide is attracting people not only for its events and festivals, but for the long term, whether they're investing or making the move here. Last year, a significant number of our buyers came from interstate or overseas, making this an ideal time to showcase your home to a wider audience. At Toop and Toop, we have proven strategies to connect your property with the right buyers and ensure no opportunity is missed. Visit toop.com.au. Toop and Toop, Adelaide's trusted real estate advisors.
Thinking of painting and don't know where to start?
We do, because we know paint at Crowey's.
So, visit Crowey's. And while you're there, join Crowey's Club to get 10% off everything.
We know paint at Crowey's.
Toolkit Depot has all the gear for every trade under one roof, backed by their price beat promise.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
27 after 4, the Jumbo Prince Rick Davies to join us straight after 4:30 tonight. But it's all about your calls. 8223 0000. Name a brood of a player back in the day that wouldn't last a day in today's game. On the back of our unprudent player. Who is it? Number one for you. 8223 0000. Let's check your roads, all thanks to Rossdale Homes, SA's most trusted. Custom design, fixed pricing, total peace of mind, because trust is a must.
At Hendon, Carvey, Stobie Pole, Tapley's Hill Road near West Lakes Boulevard. Pretty solid delays through there at the moment. Elizabeth, another crash, Willislow Road near Elizabeth Way, and Paraka urgent telecommunication works on Main North Road near Montague Road. Cameras, Cabin Road, Dry Creek, and McGill Road at McGill. Score a screamer of a deal at BWS. Get a bottle of Chris Ringland Barossa Shiraz for $20. Save $12. Hurry, offer in Sunday. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Yes, we're looking for a player that perhaps wouldn't play too many games in the AFL today because they were, well, let's say...
prudent.
Unsavoury is another word. Let's go to Brendan at Birdside. G'day, Brendan.
Yeah, hi, guys. I think the word might be imprudent, not unprudent.
We'll go with that.
I am.
Would you swallow a dictionary, Brendan?
What about Wayne Wiedemann? Not a brute, but very aggressive.
Oh, the weed.
The weed.
Very hard at it.
He wasn't prudent.
Very tough. Very tough.
Yeah,
player.
good nomination. Love the weed.
Great nomination.
Thanks, Brendan. School teacher for English.
Let's go to Robert Heathfield. Imprudent, apparently.
Yeah. His middle name's Oxford.
I'm an individual. Mark Jacko Jackson.
Yeah, he wasn't prudent.
What a single that was. I love the film clip of that one, Rob. You still got it? Did you buy it?
No, I got one of his T-shirts. I went and saw him at a footy show one day.
Yes.
He was selling his T-shirts. I can't remember what I had on the front of it, but it was pretty bloody funny.
Yes, I went to one of his wild colonial boy speeches. Yeah. Oh, that was wild. Had Chopper with him.
He did.
Wow. Yeah, it was the most nervous MC job I've ever done, let me tell you. Kensington Gardens. G'day, Bernie.
Hey, boys. Crackers.
Crackers, Keen, and there. See, there's another nickname.
Yep.
That goes into your barrel there. I like that, Bernie. That's a beauty. God, he was
Crackers.
I used to love seeing him just warming up for the ruck.
Yeah. So he played at Collingwood and North Melbourne?
Yes, and Essendon.
And Essendon, he did too.
And the Bombers as well.
Plugger's getting a lot of nominations.
Yeah.
My ex-coach is getting a few.
Do you remember when he did his ankle and Eddie Maguire was a young reporter, tried to get the interview and the crutch came through the door, threw it at him.
Yeah.
Like, that was very,
wasn't prudent.
Very imprudent.
Do you reckon Mal Brown's prudent?
No.
No,
not at
He's
all.
a visionary. I'd love him on the AFL Commission.
Let's go to
Wouldn't
Semaphore
he
Park.
sort them out?
G'day, Ray.
Ray.
How you going? All right?
Good, buddy. Good.
Yeah, I reckon Carl Dietrich should have a bit of problem playing most today.
Yep. Oh, Carl.
Yep.
Yeah, Carl.
Yeah.
He had a lot of issues, didn't he?
He used the soccer to
He was one of the first to wear a headband, I reckon.
It was a big cloth one.
That big white cloth
and
one.
He often tried to, put people into the future one way.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, it's not surprising. Some of the most unprudent players are some of the great characters of our game. 8223 0000. We'll keep taking your calls throughout the show. It's 4:30 headlines time. We'll speak to another one next. Rick Davies.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good afternoon. Mel Usher with the 5AA News headlines. The last-minute election campaign blitz continues with Anthony Albanese flying into Adelaide. Adrian Portelli, the so-called Lambo guy, is headed to trial in SA in September. More changes flagged in Rundle Mall, this time the partial demolition of Adelaide Central Plaza. And in sport, Port and the Crows will release their squads for round 8 next hour. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Unley Park, a crash crossroad near George Street, slow going in all directions through there. Hendon, Carvey, Stobie Pole, that's going to take a while to clean up that one. Tapley's Hill Road near West Lakes Boulevard, really slow. And Paraka urgent telecommunication works on Main North Road near Montague Road. Cameras this afternoon, Baxter Road, Salisbury North and Campbell Road at Elizabeth Downs. It's time to get back to Faster Pasta, where everyone can enjoy their favourites. For good times and great food, dine in at Faster Pasta and treat yourself to a night off. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast down to 10 tonight, mostly sunny tomorrow, 25. Right now it's 20 degrees. We'll have more news at 5 on 5AA, always Adelaide.
The shock result for the Libs is that the elite MSM mainstream media, all of them being herded around by the snout on the leaders' buses and what have you, have failed to grasp that in Salisbury North there's a whole bunch of people who are going, I'm sick of Albo and all his white crap, I'm voting for Ducks.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Yeah, something we haven't seen before.
Unforeseen, undetected, Trumpian blue-collar groundswell of people.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
If that was on, the Libs would be onto it.
5AA Breakfast. Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Forget having mulch or compost dumped on your driveway. It's messy and it gets in the way. Instead, order cubic metre Hulker bags of Living Earth compost or mulch. Hulker bags can be delivered where most tip trucks can't get to, and it's Australian Standard certified. Plus, when you've emptied it, fill your Hulker bag with approved hard waste, and Integrated Waste Services will take it away for a discount price. Google Hulker bag now, spelt Hulca. Hulker bag.
Marge, those folks at Gilmore's really were terrific. I told you. Not only did they fit me in shoes to suit my bunyips, but they handled the paperwork for my care package.
Oh, I didn't realise they did that.
Yeah, I got some really lovely shoes. The package provider sorted out the payment and worked with Gilmore's to make sure I got my shoes.
Well, now that your bunions, aren't so sore, why don't we grab a coffee and do a few laps of the park?
I'd like that. It's been a while.
Gilmore's Comfort Shoes, South Road, Melrose Park.
Looking for a way to make a difference while you earn? Do both by joining a clinical trial. If you're aged 18 to 55 and generally healthy, CMAX Clinical Research invites you to help trial a new potential treatment for epilepsy. Eligible participants will spend 3 nights at CMAX, attend 3 follow-up visits and get paid for their valuable time. Join and make a positive impact for over 50 million people experiencing epilepsy. Interested? Apply today at cmax.com.au.
Fast food shouldn't slow you down.
That's why, at Sombrero, our burritos, bowls and nachos are cooked slow and served fast, with only the freshest, most delicious ingredients. Which means it doesn't just taste good, it leaves you feeling good. So go on, swap the same old fast food for fresh new. Sombrero Feel Good Max.
Mario Maiolo Promotions and 5AA present Blowin' in the Wind, honouring Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Bob Dylan with friends Johnny Cash, Joan Baez and the Travelling Wilburys. Come celebrate the legends who contributed to cultural change through inspired lyrics and songs of revolution with an amazing cast. The times they're a-changing, folks, so don't think twice because it's all right. Blowin' in the Wind, Her Majesty's Theatre, Friday 23rd of May. Book now at Ticketek.
Toolkit Depot has all the gear for every trade under one roof, backed by their price beat promise.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
25 minutes to 5. Riley O'Brien will join us on the show at 5 o'clock tonight, so you can tune in on the Adrian Bryan Hyundai live stream for Rob. We have team selection as well, with Port Adelaide expecting 1 change and the Crows potentially 4. So we'll get them at 10 minutes to 6 tonight live on the program. And if you'd like to win showdown tickets for a couple of weeks, it's only next week actually, it's coming up very quickly, Timmy, as you could win tickets, but not just that, also a night's accommodation at the Pullman Adelaide. Great chance for you to win. Head to 5AA.com.au or through the 5AA player app and come back, listen each day if you like, clock up additional entries. It is that easy. You can go to Pullman Adelaide, footy fans, top stay in the East End, by booking at pullmanadelaide.com.au.
Well, yesterday the AFL told us via the tribunal that the modern player had to be more prudent with his attack on the ball and the body. So we thought, what's prudent mean, Timmy?
Yeah, the definition is acting with or showing care and thought for the future.
So we thought we'd get one of SANFL's most unprudent players of the SANFL golden era, none other than Stirk great Rick Davies, the Jumbo Prince. Welcome.
Hello, boys. How are you? Prudent. Can you spell it?
That's it. But, Jumbo, can you believe where the game's at? We wanted to get one of the golden greats, and you are that. We've been told by the AFL to be more prudent as a footballer.
Well, if I had my sight and you were about to pick up the ball, my thoughts would be to knock your ass over head. That would be my and make it very, very difficult for you. Look, it's hard. It really is hard. Like what with curls and those sort of things, like Teddy Whitten and all the greats. You know, it's just unbelievable. And I look. I understand the head injuries. I really do, and we all do, don't we? We don't want to, be down the track. Like I see little Johnny Platten suing the AFL, or down the track he's going to do something for his head. Look, we are trying. I would have thought all the hair would have stopped anything, wouldn't you, of Johnny Platten? Anyway, so he got to the stage where it now is they're all worried. They're all worried about the young kids playing. Now, I understand all of that as well. But, how would you be a defender? It would be just impossible. Take your arms. You just got to get over their shoulder. It would be impossible to play as a defender nowadays. Yeah. And the other thing is, where is our game going to go? I watch it, and Fremantle, they kick out from full back, they go sideways, then they go the other side, then the back side. There's 4 plays before they get outside of 50. Well, I thought our rule was that we're going to score more. We don't want to see 9 or 10 goals a week, do we? No. Well, they never ever go forward. Like Port Adelaide, you've got to sit back and go, right, what would Port Adelaide do? They used to kick it as long as you can from full back, centre half back, knock someone arse over head, kick it down to centre half forward and get a goal. It worked then and it should work now. Yeah. But anyway, cut a long story short, I do think that the AFL, but then you switch it over and you watch the rugby for a little bit. Well, every tackle would be 6 weeks in our game.
How would you go playing in this era today, having to be a prudent footballer? How many games do you reckon you'd last, Jumbie?
Well, no. Well, to be perfectly honest, I was never a chaser. Because I, Dean Farnham, I'll never forget, I first looked at Dean Farnham at Central Districts one day, and I looked at him and I thought, oh, hell, look at the size of him. And then I thought, well, I'm going to have to sort of do something, give him a bit of a biff early and at the first bounce, because there was no run across the line. It was all side on and all that sort of stuff.
Check side.
So I gave him a clip around the ears. Well, he turned and went bang and hit me right in the nose, and he split my lip from my nose down to my teeth. And I thought to myself then, that probably wasn't the most encouraging thing you've ever done, and never did it again. So when I do it, that was prudent. I think what I look at now, I do look at and I say, I think they're trained better for the tackle now, don't you? I thought that bloke on Saturday, was in the back and he got 3 weeks for the first tackle. Yeah. I honestly thought, okay, it was a little bit, but they do actually tackle them now and they sort of try and put them on the side, don't they?
Do.
Well, yeah, it's the momentum, though, that probably makes it difficult to do that, Rick, in motion.
Yeah, no question. Like if you're travelling and you're trying to catch him, you're going at full pace. And, of course, then you've just got to make sure. I do think that the sling tackle,
yes,
well, there again, it's out. You sort of can't do much now. I know it's quicker, and look, when you look at the players, they're pretty skinny, most of them, aren't they? There's no Wayne Careys or there's no bloody, all these big, strong players. There's the occasional one. But, mate, you get a Collingwood versus Port Adelaide, or you get a Collingwood versus Hawthorn. It's a fantastic... And then you see another game where all the umpires just come in, like the 50 metre. I've never ever been 50 metres. I want, if you kick it backwards, it's play on. Now, that's not going to be too hard. So out you come of the pack, right, and you kick it and it goes out of bounds, deliberately out. Well, then the ball comes in high and you can come over the top and punch it out of bounds, can't you?
Yes, that's right.
Well, why would you have the ticky-tack-loop one for the obvious one? If you're going to do that one, so I've got the kick backwards, play on straight away. The spanning of the mark and the 50 metres is just pathetic.
Yep.
That is just pathetic. I can't see one reason or advantage that gives our game. I really don't. And the kicking, along the line. I reckon the kick along the line, you gain 50 metres and it's a bloody beautiful kick. So there's a few things I reckon that they could even, and you would agree with the three of them.
Yep.
You could smarten up our game and go forward and when there's 3 or 4 minutes left, kick it backwards. So it's just, you're looking there at the game, aren't you? You want an exciting game, a thrilling game, and I think that would help.
Rick, you were picked in, I think, the 70s and 80s teams that we put together, one in ruck, one at full forward. Where were you most effective as a prudent player, in the ruck or full forward?
Well, I think I used to say to Desi Foster, the little umpire, he would always, Jumbie, sorry, in the back. And I just say, you little weasel, why don't you come down here and get closer to me, you little weasel. Anyway, so I think in the ruck, I really did enjoy the ruck.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been much good with the line across the centre, would I? Because I wouldn't have been tall enough. Yeah. And do you know what? I think it's a waste of time, that. All they're doing is pick the biggest players. They should just take that line across and look, the amount of manoeuvring and bustling they do now, it's no different.
That's exactly right.
It's almost gone back to your Checkside era.
And I'll tell you something else. When was the last time you saw a ruckman palm it to a rover in the centre? Never. They just mess around. There's no real play anymore. It's the toughest, hardest players. So what they've done is a few of the rules. They're trying to clean it up. They're trying to help with the kids, and they're trying to help the head injuries, and they're trying to help the general fitness of the players. But I think it's probably put our game back a bit.
Yeah. That craft you're talking about, I can just see Davies to Noonan, that sort of behaviour. That's what you're talking about.
Well, and you throw in on the sidelines, a little flick over the back, a little bit. But there's too much. It was funny, I went to golf the other day, and that big ruckman for Williams, whatever his name is, for the West Coast, and I walked in and I had a look at him and I thought, gee whiz, he's the size of a mountain. Bailey Williams.
Yeah,
that's him.
Are you Bailey Williams? And he said, yeah, I am Bailey Williams. And I said, how about getting in front, you big horse? And he said, who are you? And I said, little Jumbie Davies. And I said, I'll tell you, you cannot do, and if you watch any of his replays, he's always behind. He's always trying to get the ball behind. Anyway, cut a long story. I've given him 15 minutes of the Jumbie talk, right?
Yes.
And I don't know whether he's really listening to me or not. But anyway, then my mate that I played golf with said, you must have done well. They dropped him this week.
Jumbie!
But you and myself both know, if you're big and strong, you've just got to... Now, they throw the ball in. You know where it's going to lob. You don't have to start hustling and bustling and, wrestling, 2 or 3 seconds before. You flick around the back, catch him off balance, give him a bit of a nudge, and then palm it down. And he had the size, but he's got no general thought. All the ruckmen are as dumb as frogs, really, aren't they?
Well... Rick, maybe you were prudent. You had thought for the future.
There you go.
You knew we were going to tap it.
There you go.
You know full well. But I had to. But at the end of the day, I got reported for trying to hit Mark Williams in the trial one day. Well, who wouldn't? you know, who wouldn't? I should have got him better than I got, but I got off at the end of the day. What a champion he was. And I see him, you know, he's at Melbourne now.
Yes.
They're having a bit of an ordinary run. So it's great to see. It's great to see. And it's good to talk to you, Blake, because I'm Norwood. You go out to Norwood at the gather round. It's fantastic. You go down to You go to Alberton. I never used to like going down there because I came home. My car was always scratched from the wankers down there. But anyway, apart from that, we never
get away with
that.
Hey, Jumpy, how are you, by the way, while we got you, for all our listeners that love you? You made 5AA that year. You all good?
Well, mate, 10 years ago I had the sleeve. Remember, I used to buy a carton of Crowns and 2 chickens, and it would last me 2 days. Now I can do that, and it lasts me 2 months.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I don't eat it all. I got to 142. Now I'm about 90.
Wow.
So that's 50 odd kilos.
Climb one.
And well, I can hug somebody now. You know what I mean? And you know, when you look in the mirror, you go, Jesus, that's not a bad looking cot, really. You really.
Can you see? Can you see your toes?
Well, that's what I was about to say. I can see more than that. Anyway, so I had my knee done the other day, and this is how hard it is. I didn't. My brother had a bit of a heart problem, and he had it fixed. And I went to have my knee done, and they said, "Oh, you got a little bit of trouble with your aorta valve." And I went, "I haven't been crook. Nothing. This is the hard part about all this. Nothing." Anyway, so they said, "Oh, well, you need a new aorta valve." So I went in and had the Tarby, which is up your groin, and they put it in and then they just pull it out. So I've had that, and really, I really did pep up a bit. Then I rang the bloke and said, "Right, okay, then your knee, yes," which I had November the 11th, which was in Remembrance Day.
Yes.
And so that's been 5. I was back playing golf in 5 weeks.
Wow.
I ride the bike every day. That's because of my knee. So I ride it around the park here at Careen. Yeah. And look, to be perfectly honest, I'm going over this week. We're flying tomorrow for the 100 Years Hawthorn.
Oh, right.
So there's 900 players that are getting a Guernsey.
Wow.
Goodness.
And they said they had their big celebration at Waverley here some months ago. I didn't go, but we're going to the MCG Sunday 1:30, all meeting up, and we're watching the Richmond game. And it was good to see Peter Hudson on the front bar last night.
Yeah.
And he was, and he always is. And the other thing is, I'm so lucky that I'm in the Hall of Fame too, because I can catch up with Cornsey, and I can catch up with Peter Carey, and I catch up with Peter Hudson. He's a legend, of course. And then you catch up with Lee Matthews, and I sat with Lee last year. Kilmore's a good friend, and Dermot. And you go, Dermot, Jesus, you should really look at your commentating. I just can't stand him. He talks shit, doesn't he? Anyway, so at the end of the day, I'll be able to tell him to his face. I won't be able to go behind his back. But you catch up with Big Scotty, and it's just footy has just been so fantastic. And a bloke just rang me 10 minutes before you rang and said, "Oh, Luke Hodge is here next Thursday at the Subiaco Footy Club." Oh, cool. So I thought, well, wouldn't that be great just to go and hear him play? It's 100 years.
Yeah.
But what's worrying me with the footy now is that the Hawks are going to, they've lost their last couple, and they don't just go direct to when they were playing their best. Don't you reckon they were just going direct?
Fast and direct.
And they really have got some little forwards, but really they just do need a big forward, don't they, to go top?
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, that's all good, boys. Look, it's been fantastic, absolutely fantastic to talk to you, and I hope you're both well. And I'll be over just sipping the odd. I'd probably go the white first, wouldn't I?
Yeah, I think
definitely.
So.
Yeah.
and then as it gets a bit colder, which I generally feel it will, I might just taste the odd Merlot or something like that towards the end, and then pack up and just go over to the casino, throw it on the 24. Probably 37-1, and come home with about $5 grand. What do you reckon?
Jumpy, you're a legend. Thanks for that, mate. Well done.
Okay, boys. Lovely to hear from you. See ya.
the great Jumbo Prince, Rick Davies, on prudency and our great game.
And gamble responsibly, of course. It's 11 minutes to 5. Let's check your traffic.
G'day there. Glenelg North got a crash to look out for. Tapley's Hill Road, Macfarlane Street. Another collision at Unley Park, Cross Road near Unley Road. And Hendon Carvey, Stobie Pole. That one's causing a few delays. Tapley's Hill Road near West Lakes Boulevard. Getting busy Main North Road at Enfield with a camera. Shepherdson Road at Parafield Gardens. Score a screamer of a deal at BWS. Get a bottle of Gordon's London Dry Gin for $44. Save $6. Hurry. Offer ends Sunday. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Hi, Brett Ebert here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. There's a lot to like about Mawson Lakes Mazda. They'll take care of you with next day servicing, complimentary loan car, vacuum and wash. And your breakfast or lunch is on them. Your car gets the love too with their state-of-the-art service centre, brimming with top-trained mechanics. At Mawson Lakes Mazda, they'll look after your car and look after you. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Less pear.
More Pinot.
Less Crom.
More canapes.
Less Marks.
More marquees.
Less Ferrells.
More frocks. This autumn, give the footy a miss and have a real ball at the Sportsbet Adelaide Racing Carnival, the nation's finest horse racing, April 26 to May 10.
More?
Morfettville.
Now, when it comes to buying and selling property, you need an agent who's not just there for the quick sale. No, sirree. You need someone who can stand their ground to ensure you're maximising your home's potential. Now, there's a good reason Toop and Toop is defying market trends and continuing to deliver premium outcomes for its clients.
They're simply the best. I mean, honestly, we all know the name, Toop and Toop. Toop and Toop has 40 years of history, and Bronte and his team understand the market like no other. They know what it takes to maximise results for your property in any selling condition. So if you're thinking about putting your house on the market, or you just want to know what it's worth, you want to kick the tyres, so to speak, well, this is the perfect time. Toop and Toop, one name, Toop and Toop, Adelaide's trusted real estate advisors.
Now, this is how you can contact them. Visit toop.com.au, call them on 8362 8888 for more details, and don't forget, you can hear more from Bronte and the Toop and Toop team on Real Estate Radio with Stacey Lee every Wednesday at 2 p.m. right here on 5AA.
Crazy tasty, we're the sweetest snack for you.
Sweet.
Fully juicy too.
Juicy.
Crazy tasty bros, yes, we kiwi fruits will totally lift your mood. Crazy tasty.
Pick up a zest-free Sun Gold kiwi fruit and try the surprising sweetness. It's easy to eat as a snack. Simply cut and scoop. Zespri Sun Gold kiwi fruit, in season now.
Crazy tasty.
Zespri.
Hi gardeners, Charlie Allbone here. The one thing there's no room for in my garden is weeds. So when they start to sprout, I reach for Rich Grow Beta Weed. Its naturally based formula works within hours of application, and it's glyphosate free. To see the Rich Grow effect of work on the bad things in your garden, grab some Beta Weed today and grow you good things. Available at Bunnings Warehouse.
Unpack the wonder of a remarkable archaeological discovery, the treasures of the Viking Age at the South Australian Museum. See gold, silver and unique heirlooms from the astonishing Galloway Hoard. On now until the 27th of July. Book now at samuseum.sa.gov.au.
Toolkit Depot has all the gear for every trade under one roof, backed by their price beat promise.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
7 to 5. We'll get back to your calls in just a moment. Riley O'Brien to join us after 5 o'clock. And David and Will's Democracy Sausage will be rolling out this Saturday for the election day. Don't miss out. If you want to get your hands on one of David and Will's Democracy Sausages, they're all around the place, all thanks to najobi.com.au. Few locations. Here's Stradbroke Primary School might be near by where you are. Norwood Primary, right. Woodville High School.
Hey, that's my old
high school.
Yeah.
Christian Brothers College. They're all taking part in David and Will's Democracy Sausage on Election Day. From the award-winning farm to your table, Najobi delivers premium fresh beef and lamb at najobi.com.au.
I can listen to Rick Davies for hours, a number of them on the text line. He's
yes.
a ripper, isn't he?
Yes, there was a lot of...
You know what he is? He's real.
He's very real.
He's just real.
Yeah, I tell you what. Lucky we pre-recorded him.
Yeah, we did. That's
lifting the curtain on the
always
radio
a high
magic.
risk interview, but very funny. We've been asking, which former, player who was a bit unsavoury, perhaps wouldn't last a game in today's AFL. We've had plenty on the text line, which I'll get to in a moment. But Brad at One Tree Hill, g'day, Brad. Who you got,
Brad?
for us?
Yeah, g'day, young Rowey and Timbo. I could listen to the old Jumbo for hours. He's a classic. You boys mightn't agree with me, but, I can remember this player. He played for Torrens, he played for St Kilda. I seen him jump the fence one day. Robbie Mad Dog Muir.
Yeah, he wasn't prudent.
Yeah, Brad, it's a very good call. I know somebody rang up about when the day they threw, a can at him and he jumped the fence and the seas parted. Let me tell you that, Brad. But I told the story to Sam off air yesterday about Robbie Muir. I played a reserves game. I was 16 years of age at Alberton. It's one of my first. And Robbie was coming back from injury playing for West Torrens. And we're in the middle. And I probably would have weighed barely 60 kilo, I reckon, at 16.
Wow.
And there was a ball up. And anyway, he tackled me. And I just felt my body sort of just float away.
An out-of-body experience.
I was weightless as he tackled me, threw me around, and bang, onto the middle of the turf. And all the air went out of me.
And you sounded like a squealing pig.
Nothing. No sound. No sound.
There's no sound. Oh, that's even worse than a squealing pig.
And then I felt the hand grab hold of the Guernsey and pick me up, put me back on my feet, tapped me on the bum and said, "Go again, little fella." And I thought, why? I don't want that to happen again.
That's not where I thought
without a word of a
story
lie.
go.
And I know, a lot of people saw him play. He was quite aggressive. That day, all he did was talk to me. I got upstairs at the footy club. He came up behind me, had a beer, which he wouldn't have known how old I was. Stood at the window and he said, "How old are you, little fella?" And I said, "I was 16. He said, "Now listen, I want to tell you about some game. Now, don't do this and don't do that." And he was giving me advice. I thought, what a great bloke. All
Just
this reputation, great competitor, but he was prepared to help a young fella.
He just had crazy eyes. Hello, Steve.
G'day, Rowey and Timmy. How are you?
Good, my man.
Excellent, mate.
Who's your nomination?
Well, let me say I really enjoyed your chat with Rick Davies.
Isn't he a champ?
He is. There's two. There's probably one guy that you know, Mal Brown.
My first coach, yep.
He was, remember that Carlton game here. And,
that's right.
And
it was North Oval, wasn't it? Oh, Adelaide, yeah. Sorry, say it again, Steve.
So the other one was Dermy, because he did somebody every way.
Spot on.
No, two good ones there.
Dermy ran through the Essendon huddle. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
That was classic. Hey, there's one here from Mitch earlier. I just wanted to read out.
Rick Davies likes his commentary.
Oh, yes. Gee, it was funny, wasn't it? Funny. But Mitch has said, look, hey, Rowey, you bag the AFL every night about concussion. What do you expect them to do? Literally, whether they're supposed to do it or just ignore it, it's our older generation of players that have started, with the litigation of the AFL. Mitch, we just want to clear up. We're not condoning the concussion part of it. It was just the wording of the AFL that just seemed so silly, and the prudency and the like. So
that's a lawyer's
we're
word.
just taking the mickey a bit out of that. But no, you're right, Mitch. Spot on about the concussions, and it is serious about it. And what young Paul Curtis did. We go. I think the AFL just got to put their hand up and say, if anybody gets concussed, you will get suspended. But here's the matrix.
That's it.
Yeah, those things are very clear. We'll get back to your calls very shortly. The most unprudent player, 8223 0000. Riley O'Brien is going to join us next on the Adrian Bryan Hyundai live stream. Tune in now on Facebook and YouTube.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
5AA is your destination for footy in 2025 with live, undelayed coverage right across your weekends. The action kicks off Thursday nights with matches every round, blockbuster games for Friday nights, and Super Saturdays with live and free AFL back-to-back without delay.
Kicks a beauty!
The action rolls on through Sundays to complete your footy-filled weekend.
Puts a cherry on top!
No paywalls, no delay. It's live footy all weekend on 5AA.
Yeah, nah, not listening to that.
While you focus on your playlist, we'll handle your car battery. Battery World has the largest range of quality car batteries to keep you moving. Book your free car battery test today.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
As a South Aussie-based not-for-profit health insurer, Health Partners isn't just your health partner. We're your tooth-checking partner, hammy-stretching partner, chart-squinting partner. We're your bone-mending, script-filling, arch-lifting, giving, salad-suggesting, generous limit-giving, member-supporting, SA-loving partner. So for great value health cover, there's no better partner in health than Health Partners. Health insurance made human.
Rugged capes, wide open plains. Racing lives in every corner of South Australia. In the rich soil, the trackside banter. Racing lives in the grit that goes back generations. It lives in the final lunge for the finish. The rush that ripples through the crowd. In the morning mist, when the next champion is trained. Racing lives here.
Local news and information first. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Down to 10 tonight, sunny tomorrow, 23. With the 5 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
Experience the smooth, rich flavour of McCafe today. Expertly crafted by trained baristas, just the way you like.
Anthony Albanese has flown into Adelaide as we get to the pointy end of the election campaign. Labor is describing the coalition's election costings as a con job, arguing it'll result in more cuts for Australians. The federal opposition is promising a $14 billion improvement to the budget bottom line over the next 4 years, making savings by reducing the number of public servants. But the bottom line would get worse before it gets better because of temporary cost of living measures like the cut to tax on petrol. Treasurer Jim Chalmers says the economic plan lacks credibility. They haven't provided anywhere near enough for their nuclear reactors. They've got their numbers wrong on their job cuts in the Australian public service. They've got their numbers wrong on their long lunches policy, on their petrol policy, and on their mortgage deductibility policy as well. The so-called Lambo guy, Adrian Portelli, is headed for trial in SA, accused of running an unlawful lottery through his prize giveaway business. The 35-year-old wasn't required to attend the Adelaide Magistrates Court today and is believed to be in Singapore for a car expo. Both Mr Portelli and his company are pleading not guilty, with the matter set for trial in September. Well, the estranged husband of alleged mushroom cook killer Erin Patterson became emotional today while giving evidence at her triple murder trial in Morwell. Kiara Parker has more.
Simon Patterson cried in the witness box as he recalled his dad Don struggling while he was ill after the lunch at Erin Patterson's Leongatha home in 2023. Simon Patterson says he declined the lunch invitation because he felt too uncomfortable. The guests, Don and Gail Patterson and Heather Wilkinson, died after suffering mushroom poisoning. While giving evidence, Simon Patterson said he texted Erin the day before to tell her he wouldn't attend, and she replied that she was disappointed because she'd spent many hours preparing and spent a small fortune to make beef Wellingtons because she wanted it to be a special meal. A court has heard his relationship with Erin changed in 2022 after putting his status as separated on his tax return. During his testimony, he spoke about finding out that Erin had conducted a blind taste test with their daughter by putting dehydrated mushrooms in muffins. Under cross-examination, Simon Patterson said Erin seemed to have a loving relationship with his parents and agreed she was very generous with money. Simon Patterson will continue to give evidence tomorrow.
More building changes are flagged in Rundle Mall, this time the partial demolition of Adelaide Central Plaza. The owner has applied to knock down part of the complex and build a multi-level mixed-use building. David Jones is one of the tenants. The 4-storey centre officially opened in 2000. And Haigh's is talking up expansion plans as it celebrates its 110th birthday today. They hope to double their production of chocolate in the coming years. Now Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Flash sale event now on at Gasman. For 6 days, enjoy up to 50% off selected styles. Ends Sunday.
We'll find out later this hour who's in and who's out for Port and the Crows this weekend. The Power head east tomorrow ahead of Saturday's game against the Western Bulldogs in Ballarat. Sam Powell-Pepper is set to play his 150th AFL game. He's confident they can come away with the win.
They're obviously a very handball-heavy team and I'm great in the contest, so for us it's just playing our game style, what we've been doing, bringing our pressure. We know that our pressure, whether it's any team we come up against, if our pressure's up to scratch, we know we can go against any side.
That audio thanks to Nine. The Crows need to make a handful of changes due to injuries and Mitch Hinge's suspension. It's a home game on Saturday against Carlton. Richmond defender Noah Bolter is set to play his first match since being convicted of assault. He missed last week's due to the curfew requirements of his sentence. Coach Adam Uze says he's still highly regarded by the playing group.
Yeah, no, he's in a good spot. Like I said, he had a great session over the weekend. He's had a great week on the track. He's such a good teammate. The players love having him around, love having him part of the group. And he's a leader out there, so he's had a nice week and he's ready to go.
The Tigers take on the Hawks at the MCG on Sunday. Marvel hosts tonight's Round 8 opener. It's Essendon v North Melbourne and the game will be live on 5AA. All Adelaide Lightning players have been released from their contracts amid growing uncertainty over the team's future in the WNBL. And LeBron James and the Lakers are out of the NBA playoffs, losing their series to the Timberwolves 4-1. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Glenelg North, a crash to look out for on the drive home, Tapley's Hill Road near McFarlane Street. Another collision at Unley Park, Cross Road near Unley Road. And Hinton, Carvey, Stobie Pole, Tapley's Hill Road near West Lakes Boulevard. Really big delays through there at the moment. Getting busy at the parade at Norwood, quite slow. Tapley's Hill Road at Glenelg North and a Camera Cross Road at Highgate. AirAsia is back with direct flights to Bali. Fly 4 times a week from just $199. Don't miss out. Book now at airasia.com. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Down to 10 tonight, sunny tomorrow 23, Saturday mostly sunny 25 and 27 on Sunday. Right now it's 19 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight the Prime Minister and opposition leaders zero in on Adelaide amid their final campaign blitzes. Adelaide's lucky northern suburbs, 2 big lotto wins. The King's message to other cancer sufferers and car insurance giveaway wars, cheaper groceries, shopping rewards and cash back. The big incentives to get you to switch. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
Vinnie's SA is so much more than your local op shop. Vinnie's is crisis centres, men's and women's, in Adelaide. Vinnie's is thousands of meals prepared so vulnerable people don't go hungry. Vinnie's is local society members visiting homes, delivering food, baby bundles and other essentials. Vinnie's is a crisis line offering help during life's most distressing moments. Vinnie's SA. Donate or volunteer today. vinnies.org.au/SA.
No pain, no gain? Not anymore. CMAX Clinical Research is on a mission to alleviate pain and needs your help. If you're aged 18 to 55 and generally healthy, you could be eligible to join our clinical trial, testing a new potential treatment for acute and chronic pain. Enjoy a comfortable 2-night stay at the CMAX facility. Attend 1 follow-up visit and get reimbursed for your time. Ready to make a difference? Apply today at cmax.com.au.
Get the garden you want at Garden Grove. Autumn's here, so it's important to think about getting your garden and lawns ready for a long winter with fertilising to keep them strong and healthy. Garden Grove have the best brands, backed by the very best advice. Get the garden you want. Garden Grove, Golden Grove Road, Golden Grove.
Garden Grove, that's the garden. Garden Grove, that's the garden. Garden Grove, the garden that I want.
Phone 8251 1111 for delivery to your area.
Parties. Weddings, big events. What do they all have in common? Pals. You know your pals want to have a good time, but what will everyone want to drink? That's when you need to speak to Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals will make sure you've got the right type of drinks, the right amount, and best of all, we'll make sure you've got the best labels that will keep everyone talking about your event. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals. Next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
in Adelaide and across South Australia. This is 5AA, always Adelaide. The 5AA Sports Show.
Rowey, I am flabbergasted.
And Timmy G.
Absolute sports festival. Welcome back at 9 minutes after 5 here on this Thursday evening. Still to come, teams for Crows and Port Adelaide is going to drop in about 40 minutes' time. Expecting 4 changes for the Adelaide Crows and at least 1 for Port Adelaide with Sin going out with concussion. Locky Fogerty from the Blues will join us at 5:30 and we're still taking your calls, 8223 0000. The most imprudent footballer in the game today. And, of course, we can get you live on the Adrian Bryan Hyundai live stream. We're on Facebook and YouTube because right now, all thanks to Harvey Norman Clearance Centre, who have cooking appliances, washing machines, dishwashers, TVs. They've got the lot and more at 919 Marion Road. Marion, Rowey, what are you making noises for over there?
I'm not. Is
you
that
are.
on?
That's not radio technique,
Sorry.
brother. All right, let's do this.
Follows big man Riley O'Brien.
You are the OG! Riley O'Brien!
On the 5AA Sports Show.
Oh, my goodness.
That's not radio technique, brother. How are you? Who are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good making baby noises at me.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. Thursdays I have a couple of hours with little Rory.
Yeah,
so maybe,
okay. I'm Riley, Rory, pretty similar. So.
Rory, welcome. Rory, Riley, Rob, welcome,
Yeah.
mate. Is it imprudent or unprudent?
Imprudent, I believe.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
Now, are you prudent?
In a lot of ways, I am, yeah. I'm a pretty careful, conservative guy.
Yeah, okay. Do you think
methodical, sensible?
I think you are.
Yeah.
On a footy field, can you afford to be prudent or can you be prudent?
You can be prudent, I suppose. It's hard to be sometimes in the heat of battle.
Because the AFL's asking us to on the back of the Curtis tackle.
And probably the biggest challenge with that, Rob, is the bit about the thought for the future in that moment.
Thought for the future in the moment of playing footy is a hard one, I reckon. We're not dealing with,
it's almost impossible.
But the AFL's asking us to be that.
In the heat of battle, it's pretty hard, and we're not necessarily all rocket scientists, us footballers, so it's a tough one.
Well, not
tough
all
proposition.
of us.
Not all of us, no.
You're
but,
a nuclear physicist or something, aren't you?
just about. Roll with that. Yeah.
Just go with it.
But yeah, it's a bit tough. It's certainly getting harder and harder to play with the rules and expectations of the AFL. And
can I say, Riley, last week, the Brisbane Saints game, there was a moment, and my wife, she's a bit like Tourette's when she's watching footy. She just yells out and screams, and it's like, there's only us there. Like, what are you doing anyway? She screamed out at these blokes, and I said, what? She said, look at them. And what it was, 2 Brisbane guys and 2 Saints guys, ball in the middle, and they all sort of had the moment where they looked at each other. And it was like, because they're concerned about hitting one another in the head, and they are being prudent at that moment.
Well, it's getting there, isn't it? It's not like see ball, get ball, like probably you used to be taught. It's probably a little bit more consideration going in, not to fly in recklessly, and it's certainly changing a little bit. You've got to be a bit more prudent.
Is that good for the game?
I'm not sure. I don't think you want it to go too far, Rowey. I don't think you want to get to the point where you're not getting after the ball and you're not having those big impacts.
All right. Well, when's the AFLPA going to stand up and say we've had enough as players?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm actually the AFLPA representative of the Adelaide Footy Club, so I should actually bring that up. It's certainly not a push from the players internally, I don't think, to get more prudent on the field, and certainly want to avoid head injuries and look after the head, but it's also a physical game where you're going to have that and there's always a risk of injury. So you've got to sort of embrace that and accept that, and things are going to happen.
I've always talked about the fabric of the game. Now, the fabric of our game is it's unique. It's 360 degrees. You can tackle, you mark above your head, you can handball, you can hit, you're allowed to bump, you're allowed to do a lot of physical things. You're even allowed to intimidate. Well, you have been able to.
Bump, I think, it's just about out.
Well, but you're allowed to. They haven't written that out of the rules.
No, they haven't.
But you can bump. I've seen some really good bumps.
You'll certainly get a
this
game.
round.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, if you hit him high, you can. So I worry about the fabric of the game, where it's going, and the governing body, which is the commission that signs off everything that the executive do, and the executive are who run the MRO, and it's just getting. It's getting awful. And you talk to anyone at a bar or a pub or the pub tester or your caller or the normal football people, and they're going, what in God's name are we watching? What are they doing?
Yeah, we're certainly on a trajectory.
Do you feel that or not?
Yeah, I feel that. We're definitely on a trajectory where it's getting less and less contact and less is allowed. So it's certainly on that trajectory, and it needs to come to a stop at some stage, or else you're right, Rowey, we'll get to a stage where there's no physicality, and that's such a great part of Australian football, that rough and tough people cracking in. So
it's why you play them while you watch it.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. I think people love the gladiatorial combat out there, and that's why you love playing and running into each other and getting your aggression out, and it's a great part of the game.
Mary Ann sent in a unique homestyle food text. Thought I might bring it up because it's probably right on target at the moment. Just on the concussion, she says, where do you both sit with the unrealistic attempts for mark? Liam Ryan flew for a mark and a free kick against for an unrealistic attempt. His knees were up, knocked out Scrimshaw, and why is this equally as dangerous action not viewed the same as a tackle gone wrong? Now, this is an interesting one. And for me, Mary-Em, where I sit with that one, and on the back of the Paul Curtis tackle now being suspended for 3 months, I reckon if it's an unrealistic attempt and you don't touch the ball and you knock someone out, then maybe you could get suspended. That might be a way of handling that compared to the tackle, who it's still part of the game, because that seems probably even sillier than a missed tackle.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential to injure when you're leading with a knee.
And I'm just thinking on my feet here, I'm spitballing.
And I think there might have been an incident last year in a marking contest where someone was rubbed out for coming through pretty aggressively and knocking someone out. So
and not actually touching the ball. I think the touching the ball bit, if you go for the big high fly and you nearly mark it or whatever and you accidentally knock somebody out in that contest, could be your own man, then I wouldn't penalise that.
We can't take that out of the game, Timmy, or else we're not playing
we're really
we can't
in trouble.
Take hangers and...
Can we pull the Band-Aid off? Talk about my team's effort against Fremantle?
Oh, if you need to.
Because I'm sick of prudency.
And
imprudent and unprudent and
imprudent. Let's move past the prudence.
Up the prudent. Our coach, Matty Nix, said this post-match.
We're mindful to jump at things, but the weekend was unacceptable from a red time point of view. There's a mental component to it. Like, why is our structure and method not at the level it needs to be at that point? And maybe it's a concentration thing.
Concentration thing. Can we talk about that? It's Anzac Day. It's on the big stage. It's Fremantle, a team that's building. We go over there, and our midfield did that. Yeah,
disappointing, Rowey. We were certainly aware that they were going to bring it after the loss the week before to Melbourne they had, and we knew they were under the pump. Huge stage, Friday night, Anzac Day, and they just came out and punched us in the mouth, and we weren't able to stand up to that. So, super disappointing. And then we were just off on the back of that. First quarter, we were off in a lot of areas. Missed our goals, letting balls out the back, not defending the way we wanted to. So, looking back on the review, it's certainly some very small things can make a very big difference, and we were just off in some fundamental areas structurally and in our sort of team structure, and it sort of led to what looked like just not a good performance at all.
Yeah. He alluded to concentration. Do you subscribe to that?
Well, yeah, looking at the stats, I mean, late in quarters, we conceded a lot of goals.
But that's what he calls red time.
Yeah, red time in the game, so the last few minutes of the quarter, and we let, I think the first quarter we let a couple of goals in the last sort of minute go through, which... End of the day, you lose by 3 goals. It's a pretty important stage of the game, those end of quarters. So whether that's concentration or fatigue setting in or whatever that is, not sure if it's been a trend, but certainly last week it let us down big time.
I think we as fans, and I'm one, refuse to admit that it's talent now. 3, 4, 5 years ago, you could say talent. You just could. You can't now, especially against Fremantle, who have built at the same time as us. So... the why is the thing that the fans want to know. Why do we keep doing that? It was circa Crows 24 again, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The midfield fail, we're gone.
Yeah, it was a poor game on the weekend, but certainly staying positive, Rowey, because you certainly have those games in a season. Not that that's an excuse, but we felt like we were pretty strong for the obviously weeks before that. And you can, as Nixie said, you can jump at shadows a little bit, and even the best teams have a game where you go, what the hell was that? I think back to 2017 Crows. They went down to, I think they were about 8-0. They went down to Launceston or Hobart against North, lost by about 80 points. And so those games happen. Not that that's an excuse, but I feel like last week was one of those anomalous down games where we were just off in a lot of key areas and things didn't go away, and we're ready to bounce back this weekend. And I feel like our best is still very, very good, and we're looking forward to bouncing back and getting our season back on track.
So I'm one of those ones that jumped at shadows. I've jumped.
Well, it's with reason. With reason.
I know. Yeah. The hope of that game for me was huge. On the back of Yourself in the
GWS.
midfield, GWS, scrapped out. And I think I said it was one of the better games I can remember for years. And look, it was against a quality team. And then that. I think that's the letdown, isn't it? And you can see it in your face as well.
100%. 100%. It was very disappointing going over there.
Rowey, his highs are too high and his lows are too low. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm going to have to ride this with him.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, hang on, it's
I had
not
to pick
just
him up
me.
yesterday. I had to say, there's a bit of blue sky out there,
I've got a good friend, Tim Parham, who used to be the
I know
physio
Timmy.
at the club. He's now a physio down at Port Adelaide, and he tells me, always stay between a 4 and a 6, Rowey. Don't get too high, don't get too low. So keep steady, or else you're riding the roller coaster. He's 4 and a 6 all the time.
I'm a 10 or a 0.
Yeah, okay.
I'm on the boat, I'm a 10. If I'm not, and my team plays like that, I'm a 0. Right. Okay, 822 300. Do you want a 6 and a 4, or do you want a 10 and a 0?
You're an on or off. That's it.
On or off?
Yeah. On or off.
Fight or flight?
That is it.
Fight or flight?
Yeah.
10 or 0. What are you, Timmy?
Yeah.
8 and 2?
Right at this minute?
Yeah.
You're hovering around 2.
Yeah. But you're not a 6 or a 4. I think emotional
I'm about a 6,
people...
Yeah, I'm about a 5 or a 6 at the moment. Trying to keep it pretty level, so don't get too tied up in the high stuff, not too tied up in the low stuff.
You don't know what you're missing, mate.
Yeah, mate, I like just cruising along, just on a level plane, not riding the roller coaster, right?
You've got to get on those highs.
I had to teach myself as a young man because I was incredibly intense about winning and losing, right?
Yeah.
So if I lost, dead set, wouldn't talk to anybody till Thursday. And that is not good. That's the 10-0 situation. And I eventually got told by my coach at the time, Russ Liebert, who pulled me aside and just said, mate, you can't be doing this because you're actually repelling your teammates. And it was right. So we ended up with the 24-hour rule. I was allowed to be a sook for 24 hours. And I still adhere to that today. So that's my window to be at naught. And then after that, I got to get out of it.
Yeah, definitely a good thing to do with footy.
Can't recover.
Yeah, because you can get down in the dumps, and then that probably affects your next week's performance.
Affects you next week. We've got to win next
and the rest
week.
of your life, obviously.
Yeah, spot on. And those around you, more importantly.
Here's a 0 to 10 text. Have you guys shafted Carro to squeeze in more Crow's crap?
Who said that?
Stiff Carro. I'm just Crow's crap here.
Tell your story walking, Carro. We got Carro for 5 or 6 times a year, you know.
That's a better text from Maria. Riley, have you got any golf tips for Timmy? That's a better text.
Well, he's got a hole in one.
He's got a hole in one.
I have a few, mate. Off air, I'll give you a few. I don't give them out on air.
Okay. Good call.
Well, okay, if you're a 6 and a 4, I want you to be a 10 this week.
Okay.
You need to be a 10.
In game, you can.
In game, we can be a 10.
In game, you
in
go
the
to
ruck
10.
this week, who we got? Yes, Tom DeConning.
It's half your weight and half your ability.
Yeah, we'll sort it out, Rowey.
Okay, the team drops at 10 to 6. We take on Carlton. We'll be calling the game at 3:45, live on 5AA. See how I'm going. And I know you've got to be careful with teams and that, but we know Mitch Hinge is out.
He is.
Now, was that a left jab to the head?
I thought it was not much in it. He was getting blocked at the stoppage. I think there was a blood rule going on, so he was getting blocked all the time at the stoppage. He tried to push him off, and it slipped.
That's how I looked at it.
It tapped him in the chin, and you know what it's like these days, Rowey?
Yeah.
That is
one game.
A week.
Who's our advocate? Because he's clearly a peanut.
Oh, no, don't say that.
Well, who is our lawyer? Did you dump that?
I don't know.
We have to, because
who
as a
represents
lawyer,
our players?
he could well take you for defamation.
Well, hang on. He's not from whatever. That Carlton one wins everything.
The Carlton guy, I think they've got like the team from New York flying over for them. They seem to get up everything. They are good. They are
I'm asking you the question, as a Crows fan, who represents our players?
Not sure. I don't know, to be honest. I've never actually had to go to the MRO, so I can't help you on that one. But
well, my lawyer, Mark Romaldi, doesn't lose.
Okay.
I'm going to give you his number.
Okay.
He's the man. Best in this town.
All right.
Fair enough.
Hinge out reported. Shouldn't have been, but is.
Yep.
I got Bond in. I like this kid against the smalls of, who are they? Motlop, Dutton, Fogerty and White. They have a little mosquito fleet down there. But I think they'll bring in B. Smith.
They're both right in the mix, Rowey. So different. It's probably slightly different players. Bondi's very competitive, ultra defensive, tough as. Smithy, obviously, we know what he brings from his attacking, great drive, great kicking.
And I think they'll go with him.
He's been playing awesome footy.
Yeah, and he has been. He was very good on the weekend. And he did our special comments last week.
Oh, there you go.
He's very good. So that's reversed the curse. We've had someone come on air that's gone and obviously been told in my ear to have a break. All right, well, let's get into this. Crouch out, Berry in.
Crouchy is out, and Bez is, in the mix.
See, I'd have played Luke Pedler there.
Yeah, I love the way Luke Pedler goes about it, and there's a lot of guys pushing for selection, Rowey.
Okay.
So
Murray out and Butts in.
Murray is out, and yes.
Maybe butts in?
Maybe.
Okay,
maybe.
see now, and I wouldn't do that either. I'd make Worrell play on Curnow because he's done a good job, put a small in to look after their
We
sport.
want Worrell intercepting, though, the way he's going. So
I
he's been
do.
taking marks
He
well.
was sensational last week.
He was saved us last week.
He did.
Yep.
I've been told to hurry up. Fogg's back in. True or false?
Fogg is in.
And Thilthorpe is in.
Thilthorpe is in.
Okay, so that's in my eyes only Taylor, Draper or Curtin can go out.
The suspense builds, Rowey, for the next half an hour.
Okay. If it's Draper, I'll spew up. And if it's Curtin, I'm going to bring some accelerant down to the club tomorrow.
Okay. Hopefully it's neither of those two.
There we go.
Far out. I have to give a warning to the bloody security staff down the club.
They won't see me coming.
Okay.
No, people, I'm stealth, mate.
Okay.
I know I walk heavy. What's that saying? I'll get it after the break. I've just been told to go to a break.
I think it's called, time.
Okay.
Yeah, you're a ninja, Rowey.
Yeah, you're a big hoo-ha, and I hope you have a hoo-ha of a game. Rob, well done. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, boys. Cheers.
All thanks to Harvey Norman Clearance Centre, Timmy.
Yes, it is indeed. Cooking appliances, washing machines, dishwashers, TVs and more. Thank you, Nick Carasoulis. 919 Marion Road, Marion Harvey Norman Clearance Centre.
Thank you, Riley. Let's get to your traffic.
At Glenelg North, a crash, Tapley's Hill Road to McFarlane Street. Really big delays back to the airport at the moment. Works at Glenelg East continuing to Brighton Road near Dunbar Terrace and Belair. Got some works there. That's Belair Road near Tutt Avenue. Cameras, Fullerton Road in the Parklands and Hallett Road at Stonyfield. IGA's catalogue specials are on sale now, like Cadbury Chocolate Roses, 225 gram box for mum, only $6 each. At selected IGA stores till Tuesday while stocks last. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
For the very latest in local footy, tune in to the 5AA Sandful Show each Monday from 6:30pm. It's tradition, it's excitement, and it's beats, eats, and footy fun with your mates. Sandful, nothing beats it.
Quit your way in May. Yeah, you can be smoke-free in so many ways. If the cravings kick in, give yoga a spin. When you start feeling low, give pickles a go. To get off the smokes, stick up some notes. Put the vapes away for the month of May.
This May, join in and find your way to be smoke and vape free. To register and get helpful tips and support, visit quityourwayinmay.com.au.
Quit your way in May.
A message from the Government of South Australia.
Mario Maiolo Promotions and 5AA present Blowin' in the Wind. Honouring Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Bob Dylan with friends Johnny Cash, Joan Baez and the Travelling Wilburys. Come celebrate the legends who contributed to cultural change through inspired lyrics and songs of revolution with an amazing cast. The times they're a-changing, folks, so don't think twice because it's all right. Blowin' in the Wind, Her Majesty's Theatre, Friday 23rd of May. Book now at Ticketek.
Hi gardeners, Charlie Allbone here. I love chili and garlic, but the bugs and insects hate it. That's why we use it to create Rich Grow Beta Bug, the safer, naturally based insect spray for use on veggies, fruit trees and flowers. To see how the Rich Grow effect can stop these pesky invaders wreaking havoc in your garden, pick up some Beta Bug today and grow you good things. Available at Bunnings Warehouse.
My proverbs haven't come out, Will, but it is...
Not this week, no.
Walk heavy with a little stick or walk lightly with a big stick.
Speak softly and carry a big stick.
Yeah, that's the original.
That's the original, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Jack on the text line, hey, Rowey, he ain't heavy, he's my brother.
Love that song, Jack. Beautiful.
Love that song.
Yeah. The Hollies.
All right, 5:27, let's get into it. Again, in my ears, hurry up. Less pear, more Pinot.
Less crom, more canapes.
Less marks, more marquees.
Less clangers, more caviar.
We are talking about the Sportsbet Adelaide Racing Carnival this Saturday. It's May the 3rd. Give the footy a miss.
Yeah, Derby Day.
Just give it a miss. Have a real ball at the track with free entry for general admin. It's the nation's finest horse racing at SA Derby Day, headlined by the $1 million SA Derby.
Be great racing. Get down the 11. Absolute ball. The Sportsbet Adelaide Racing Carnival this Saturday, May 3rd. Less mullets, more meringues. Yeah, more Morphettville.
Did you know that over 50 million people worldwide live with epilepsy? That's why CMAX Clinical Research is trialling a new potential treatment and needs your help. If you're aged 18 to 55 and generally healthy, you're invited to join a valuable clinical trial. If eligible, you'll spend 3 nights at CMAX and attend 3 follow-up visits. Plus, you'll get paid for your time upon trial completion. Interested in taking part? Apply today at cmax.com.au.
Unpack the wonder of a remarkable archaeological discovery. The treasures of the Viking Age at the South Australian Museum. See gold, silver and unique heirlooms from the astonishing Galloway Hoard. On now until the 27th of July. Book now at samuseum.sa.gov.au.
Toolkit Depot has all the gear for every trade under one roof, backed by their price beat promise.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
29 after 5. You heard us during the break speaking about the amazing time you can have at the Sportsbet Adelaide Racing Carnival. If you've had enough of the footy, you can have a real ball at the track. If you'd like a double pass the Adelaide Racing Carnival this Saturday, see the nation's finest horse racing at the SA Derby Day, headlined by the $1 million SA Derby. Call in now, 8223 0055.
How are you, Maria?
I'm good, thanks, boys. Yourself?
Hey, Maria. Excellent.
Lovely to speak to you.
You got an imprudent player for us from the past?
I have, but I have to preface that I am a Crows girl.
Yeah.
But I did grow up watching the Port Adelaide Magpies. I've got fond memories of Stephen Bomber Clifford.
I think most people, if they barracked for Port in that era, Maria, had fond memories of Stephen Bomber Clifford, and I can tell you he was imprudent on the field, and he was certainly imprudent off.
That does not surprise me one bit.
A great character, let me tell you. Still catch up with Bomber, and God, he was funny. You know, one day at Norwood Oval, I'll never forget, I was pretty young, and there was a bit of a scuffle on the ground. And big Neil Hine, lovely lad. Big ruckman. But he was tall and skinny, had a really long neck. And anyway, they were fighting for the ball. And anyway, umpire blew his whistle and Bomber snatched it off him. And he looked at him and he said, "You know what you are, mate?" And he grabbed his neck and just pulled his neck apart. He said, "What's that?" And Hine goes, "I don't know." He said, "That's you eating a twisty."
He did it on a footy field.
On the footy field.
Oh,
it was hilarious.
Funny.
Even Heine started laughing.
That is
God, it was
funny.
gold.
And we used to get gold like that on the field. Would they do that now?
He's imprudent.
Would there be a player on the field who would be as clever and as witty and as funny as that
Very
now?
funny, man.
Oh,
Very
wow.
funny.
That is great. We got the 5:30 headlines coming up, and then the next half hour, Crows and Port Adelaide's teams to drop.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good evening, Mel Usher with the 5AA News headlines. Anthony Albanese has arrived in Adelaide as part of his final election campaign blitz. The city's skyline is set to welcome another tower. The inquest into the Bondi Junction stabbing attack continued today in Sydney. And in sport, round 8 in the AFL kicks off tonight with Essendon and the Kangaroos at Marvel Stadium. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Glenelg North, a crash on Tapley's Hill Road to McFarlane Street causing monster delays through there at the moment. Back to the airport. Park Holmer crash, Mallory Road near Duncan Avenue, also with massive delays back to Cross Road. Another collision at Edinburgh Road near Garner Avenue. Busy at the moment, Main North Road at Enfield with the Camera McGill Road of McGill. AirAsia is back with direct flights to Bali. Fly 4 times a week from just $199. Don't miss out. Book now at airasia.com. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast down to 10 tonight, sunny tomorrow and 23. Right now it's 18 degrees. We'll have more news at 6 on 5AA, always Adelaide.
The shock result for the Libs is that the elite MSM mainstream media, all of them being herded around by the snout on the leaders' buses and what have you, have failed to grasp that in Salisbury North there's a whole bunch of people who are going, I'm sick of Albo and all his woke crap, I'm voting for Ducks.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Yeah, something we haven't seen before. Unforeseen, undetected, Trumpian blue-collar groundswell of people.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
If that was on, the Libs would be onto it.
5AA Breakfast. Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Hi, I'm Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. We're finding Adelaide is attracting people, not only for its events and festivals, but for the long term, whether they're investing or making the move here. Last year, a significant number of our buyers came from interstate or overseas, making this an ideal time to showcase your home to a wider audience. At Toop and Toop, we have proven strategies to connect your property with the right buyers and ensure no opportunity is missed. Visit toop.com.au. Toop and Toop, Adelaide's trusted real estate advisors.
G'day, Frank. Any tips today? Bob, I've got a great tip today. Probably my best investment tip for the year. Well, Gilmore's. Gilmore's? Gilmore's Comfort Shoes. I went the other day. I couldn't believe their range and their service was great. I got these American-made shoes called SAS. Impressive. And I'm fussy. Nah. Yeah, haha, but these really are the most comfortable shoes I've ever bought. So my tip, go to Gilmore's for a great shoe investment.
Gilmore's Comfort Shoes, South Road, Melrose Park.
Nobody knows paints like the Crowies team. And I should know because they are the best and I was a house painter by trade. Boom. Doesn't matter what you're painting or staining, they'll be able to help. Just go in and they'll say, what are you painting? And you might say, I don't know, a chair, a door, a wall, a house, a shed, whatever. Okay, you need to undercoat it. You need to prepare it like this. Have you got drop sheets? Well, no, I haven't. You grab them. What sash cutter should I have? Well, how about a 63? You got a roller? What sleeve? What nap do I need? Do all those words make sense?
How should I cut in?
Do you have a roller handle? How do you cut in? Everything. They know the lot.
Yeah.
And then when you walk out, it's premium quality paint. You've got everything you need. You don't go back again.
No.
That's the last thing you want to do.
No.
Oh, God, I didn't get drop sheets. Well, good.
Time's money.
No such thing as sugar soap anymore. The paint is elite. It's premium quality paint. Timmy, you're right. Time is money. Crowies make you money. And they make you look good.
Sugar soap went out with Copamundo.
Went out with button-up boots, mate. Go and visit a Crowies store. Do yourself a favour. Still good painting weather, interior and exterior. CrowiesPaints.com.au. I tell you what, there's a store near you.
There's a killer on the loose in an Australian country town. 23-year-old Rochelle Childs leaves work, calls her sister, and is dead within hours. Her burning body found on a remote coastal road. Her killer never caught. Now an unstoppable cold case team is uncovering shocking new evidence. Find Dear Rochelle in your podcast app or visit dearrochelle.com.au for early access and case files.
At SEW Eurodrive, we keep Australian industry moving with innovative drive technologies and unmatched service. Our 24-hour emergency breakdown service minimises downtime to maintain productivity.
Toolkit Depot has all the gear for every trade under one roof, backed by their price beat promise.
Rowey and Timmy G, the FIVEAA Sports Show.
We're 24 minutes to 6. The World Game coming up with Stephen Mork at 6 o'clock tonight. Then we're off to the footy at Marvel Stadium this evening. It's Essendon and North Melbourne. As we're taking your calls to 8223 0000.
If you love Carlton, listen to this. There's a Carlton membership to suit everyone. Become an SA Blue Bagger from as little as $12 per month. Visit membership.carltonfc.com.au to find the best package for you.
Well, the Crows, they take on Carlton Saturday, Adelaide Oval. We'll be calling it at 3:45. Crows are on the rebound, and Carlton are really starting to fly. They've won their last 3. Joining us, one of their small forward pressure players, can hit the scoreboard, loves to tackle. Speak of Locky Fogerty. Lock, how are you?
G'day, boys. How we going?
Now, we've got a Fogerty. Are you a Fogerty?
I get asked this question a lot. I say Fogerty. I actually know Darcy back from my under-18s days, and he told me he says Fogerty. But my family, we pronounce it as Fogerty.
Okay.
Speaking of a couple of Irish boys at my club, they tell me it's Fogerty back home as well. So.
So it's Irish. See, I reckon Fogerty sounds better. Fogerty's like, Fogerty. Oh, Locky Fogerty.
I don't think they speak like that at all.
You might not be wrong there, but that's just what we run with.
That's all right. So your nickname's clearly not ours. You're not Fog, are you?
Mate, I've got multiple nicknames, but that's where it is interesting. I am Fog and Fogs and Fogger. So there you go. There's a bit of a difference there.
Locky, that's confusing.
Mate, I don't know. I said the same thing to my dad, but he's also Fogs. And we've just been running with it for many years now.
Anyway, we got that out the way. Let's talk footy. Gee, your little mosquito fleet up forward. There's you, there's Moddy. Young Dutton was from over here, White. Yep. You're the number one team for locking it in your forward half, and that's been on the back of the success for the last 3 weeks.
Yep. No, it's something we certainly pride ourselves on, and us small forwards, those guys you mentioned there. Also got Zach Williams, who plays down there, Matthew Cottrell, picks and chooses whether he wants to go wing or forward. But we talk about it a lot. That's the things we value, and we know being small forwards, that's something we need to bring every single week.
I know you got big Harry Mackay back in the team, but what factors have attributed to the form revival, you reckon, Locky?
Who is Harry's contributed?
No, I was saying, I know he's back and he makes a big difference to you, but what other factors do you reckon have attributed that form revival?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. Particularly in the first month, we were probably struggling with our inside 50 connection. And I think just as a group, it's something we've got to work on at training over the last month or so. Jordan Russell leads our forward line down there in our ball movement, but I feel like we're taking a bit more pride in our decision-making and skill execution. And I feel like the last 3 weeks, that's really helped us a lot.
Having known Vossi when he was here at Port Adelaide, what demeanour, or does he change at all after 4 losses compared to the 3 wins, or do you see just a very consistent coach in front of your eyes?
Yeah, it's a good question. That's one thing I love about Vossi is, he's very consistent and doesn't change too much. And, often the media and people will tell us what we should be changing in terms of our game plan. But that's one thing I love about Vossi is he just sticks to his guns. He knows what we're good at as a team, and whilst it probably didn't look great in the first month, he truly believed that we could turn it around, and I think we've done that the last 3 weeks.
Scouting the Crows, what are their scouting notes, Locky?
Yeah, they're good to watch, that's for sure. I think they're number 1 in the competition right now for scoring, and I reckon we're top 4 in the comp for points against. So I think if you look at those 2 factors, we're in for a pretty good game, and obviously got some threats ahead of the ball with Taylor Walker, Locky Fogerty, and I think he's playing, and Phil Thorpe should be playing as well. We know that offensively they're a very strong team.
Yeah. You've lost your last 3 at Adelaide Oval versus the Crows by an average winning margin of 47 points. Fog, you had no chance.
Yes, I
like
actually didn't know that. I haven't been in any of those games, mate, so I'm not listening to that one. So I wasn't playing in those. So that's probably not a good stat I wanted to hear.
Well, it's just a stat, isn't it? If you're on top of the ground, confident and playing well, and your strengths is locking it in the forward line, and then it is to be a defensively strong team with your team defence through your midfield, well, it's going to be a cracking game, Fog.
No, for sure. We're definitely looking forward to it, and Adelaide are 5th on the ladder, but yeah, I think we've won our last few at Adelaide Oval. For a while there, it wasn't a great ground for Carlton. Took a few years to actually get our first ever win there, but I think we've gathered around the last couple of years. But we've actually won our last few.
Yeah, well, and once again, you weren't playing in those games, so that's the difference, my friend. Locky, when you're standing the mark, perhaps when Darcy is having a shot, I dare you to call him, "Hey, Fogerty," and see what he says.
I might use that just to see his reaction. But it is something I get asked often, and it probably doesn't help that he says Fogerty.
Hey, Locky, when you're I find not many people try to put the person having a shot off. Do you ever say anything to people having a shot at goal? I used to really rip into them and try to say things and think of bizarre stuff or funny stuff that might make them laugh as well, because that's probably one of the biggest things that'll put you off with your ball drop.
Yeah, you probably don't see it as much, to be honest. And I guess with the crowd being so loud, half the time I feel like you can't even hear the player and what they're saying. Even I was playing against Geelong, my former team, on the weekend and having a set shot, and I was probably expecting a few guys just to rip into me and maybe say a few things that might distract me. But no, I didn't hear it, and I don't dish it out too much, and probably unless I actually know the person kicking for goal.
Adam Chera got off because Mick Gatto's your advocate. That's good. Our man didn't. His name's Ingy. Well, someone said that. The AFL in that tackle, Locky, said that AFL players need to be more prudent. Will you play a little bit more prudently this weekend, and will the team? And will Vossi actually ask you guys to be a bit more prudent? I mean, what a joke.
Yeah, look, I don't even know what the word prudent means, but I assume I think I do. But, Vossi, I don't think will be telling us to do that. And, I certainly won't be either. You do, I think nowadays you probably do have to be a little bit careful and with the technique. And it's something we train as a footy club. And each incident is different.
Well, keep up the form, Locky. Those smalls down there are exciting. Then you got Kerno and Mackay. It's going to be a cracking game. 3:45 will be live on 5AA. Thank you for giving up your time, Fogs, Fowie or Fog or Laurie or whatever.
All the best.
I'll call the game and I'm just going to call you Fog, all right?
Yeah, I'm happy with that, mate. Thanks for having me, boys.
Excellent. Locky Fogerty, our guest from the Carlton Football Club. Of course, those memberships, check them out at carltonfc.com.au. We got a text through from a very keen Carlton supporter, L. Forrest.
Oh, yeah.
We've never beaten the Crows at Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, that's true.
Only beaten Port once, and once against FIVEAA and once against West Coast, of course, at Gather Rounds.
Okay.
So that's the record
game.
at Adelaide Oval.
What a great kid.
Yeah, brilliant lad.
Sounded
Good
like
lad.
a lovely lad, didn't he?
Team selection's going to drop for Crows and Port in 6 minutes. Still time for your calls, though. 822 300
I've named the team. I just don't know who the last one's out.
Well, let's go to Birkenhead.
Because I don't want to
Harry.
skew up.
He's got a suggestion.
Oh, Harry.
Hey guys, I've been seeing a bit of commentary mainly on Twitter, which I probably need to stop looking at. But they're not happy with Brodie Smith potentially coming back in, which I think that if maybe they had a watch of the sample over the past couple of weeks, they'd realise that he's looking as good as ever. And I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in, plays a great role in a very important game, and there might be a bit of egg on some faces, I think.
I'm happy he's back. I would have put Hugh Bond in, but and you're right. I watched the Crows-Eagles game in its entirety, and B. Smith was good. He played a B. Smith game. Wouldn't be upset if he's in, but I would have put Bondy in. You got to keep developing the right players in the right spots to develop. Like Lukey Pedler, Huey Bond can play, mate.
All righty, let's go to Manningham. G'day, Mike.
Mike.
Who's an imprudent player, wouldn't get through today?
Let's try one of the boys that are on the screen every week by the name of Doomy Brereton, who did weeks for deliberately stomping on a bloke's head.
The
bloke was unconscious, and he decided to give him a bit more.
Yes, I do remember that now, Mike. You brought that back. Yeah, I
that
forgot
wasn't
about
prudent.
that.
Good on
Wasn't
you,
great.
Mike.
He definitely had an Irish temper about him, Dermy, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah,
I like Irish. Hey there, Jesse.
How you going, guys? Guys, I'm in support of Kane Corns. What he said about those two players, he backed it up with stats. North Melbourne Football Club are talking about bullying. They're talking about mental health. What about Jason Horne-Francis and what he's had to contend with the last 3 years, right? He simply wanted to come home. It's really tough. You could be the best player in Australia and you have to go to the worst team. But, he was homesick and wanted to come to play for Port, I think it's absolutely weak from the North Melbourne Football Club to be banning Kane from any media, temporarily. I just think, it's poor. It's double standards here, guys.
Yeah, is this on the back of the Sheasel?
Yeah.
Has he played 50 games yet?
Yeah, 51.
51. That's what I
see,
saw.
I think that's a bit harsh. And I love Kane. I
Jesse,
love him.
the North Melbourne Footy Club did say that it wasn't just about that. They said it's been over 3 years, and they said that it's been mounting, and the attacks on Clarkson and his coaching and the like. They said it was a sort of a conglomerate of things and the like. I personally, though, if I was Clarkson, I was North Melbourne, I'd say, no, I'll do the interview.
Yeah, but that's you.
Let me have it.
I get it. I mean, I'm not going to throw stones because I've never been banned by any footy clubs or any organisations or anyone that's not ever going to come on air.
Before he continues to lie,
we have teams coming up straight after this break.
Never been banned.
On the live stream, his nose is growing.
It's growing across the table. I've got to dodge it. Here's the traffic.
G'day there. Heap of crashes. Look out from the drive home. Got one at Glenelg North causing big headaches and big delays. Tapley's Hill Road near McFarlane Street, delays back to the airport. Another collision at Park Home with big delays. They are clearing, which is good. Marion Road near Duncan Avenue. Another collision at Wingfield. This one's just in Grand Junction Road near the South Road overpass. Camera 2 tonight, Main North Road at Blakeview. Fancy some Bali Bliss? Score 2 free nights at Flight Centre. Book a 7-night Bali stay with a sunset dinner cruise from just $735 for 2. Hurry, book now at Flight Centre. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
When you hear Vinnie's SA, what comes to mind? Is it crisis centres for men and women in Adelaide? Or Vinnie's Society members visiting homes, delivering food, baby bundles and other essentials? Do you think of the crisis line, offering support during life's most distressing moments? Or the thousands of meals prepared so vulnerable people don't go hungry? Vinnie's is so much more than your local op shop. Donate or volunteer today. vinnies.org.au/SA.
Here at 5AA, we're all about supporting local. Here's who you can support around Adelaide. FIVEAA House, the leaders in transforming your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an opening and closing roof. FIVEAAhouse.com.au. Health Partners is your local not-for-profit health insurer supporting South Aussies for over 85 years. Health Partners is health insurance made human. 5AA, supporting local business.
Just call Ken Hall. We'll be there anytime at all. Just call Ken Hall.
Winter is coming, bringing blocked drains, cold showers, leaking roofs and a chilly home. Don't worry, just call Ken. We'll be there when you need us. Ken Hall will get your home ready for winter with heater servicing, gutter cleaning and roof inspections. Stay safe and warm this winter. Just call Ken. Working for you since 1983.
Just call Ken Hall.
Agostino Mitsubishi, our mates. They're doing some renos on their Nailsworth dealership. It's on Main North Road if you head out of town on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be flashy, but guess what? They've got a Renault stock clearance sale.
That's the bonus for everybody else. Now, they might be getting rid of, a couple of walls on the right, might be getting rid of some rubbish, but you know what they aren't getting rid of is their great service, their great finance, great trade-ins and their great range.
I took our Triton in there today for a service. They are slick, mate. They just, if they see it's going to be ready at 4, bang, 4 o'clock.
They didn't try and frighten it, did they?
No, they didn't.
Because you
can't frighten them. You can't. They got deals on all their stock. It includes the Tritons, the Eclipse, the Outlander, the Pajeros, plus enjoy an instant drive-away bonus. Instant, straight off the bottom line, $3,000.
So $3,000 off all those. Which one would suit me, you reckon? A Triton, Eclipse, Outlander or Pajero? Which one would suit me?
I'm going to think for a moment.
Yeah, I doubt it. But I'll tell you what, Agostino Mitsubishi's, they're the best. The Renault stock clearance is on for a limited time only. Head into Agostino Mitsubishi Nailsworth and don't forget Mawson Lake, Stephen.
Would never do that.
Good.
Less pear.
More Pinot.
Less Crom.
More canapes.
Less Marks.
More marquees.
Less Ferrells.
More frocks. This autumn, give the footy a miss and have a real ball at the Sportsbet Adelaide Racing Carnival, the nation's finest horse racing, April 26 to May 10.
More
Morfettville.
Unpack the wonder of a remarkable archaeological discovery. The treasures of the Viking Age at the South Australian Museum. See gold, silver and unique heirlooms from the astonishing Galloway Hoard. On now until the 27th of July. Book now at samuseum.sa.gov.au.
Toolkit Depot has all the gear for every trade under one roof, backed by their price beat promise.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
8 minutes to 6, the World Game coming up with Stefan Morg very shortly on this Thursday night. And we have on 5AA your chance to get to the showdown next Saturday night at Adelaide Oval, plus score a night's accommodation at the Pullman Adelaide. Head to 5AA.com.au for your chance to win, or through the 5AA player app. Kick off your AFL experience at Pullman Adelaide, the top stay in the East End for footy fans. Book now at pullmanadelaide.com.au. The teams have dropped for round 8. 4 changes for the Adelaide Crows.
Yeah, well, we know Murray's out with a knee, Hinge suspended, Crouch with a hip. So Butts for Murray, Smith for Hinge, Berry for Crouch. Fogerty's back, which is great news. And now's the time for me to spew up.
What's happened? Where? What?
Sid Draper's been dropped.
What?
I said if they drop Sid Draper, I will spew up.
No.
I will chunder my guts up all over this brand new studio. 822 300 Who's just spewed up or driven off the road?
Wow.
Sid Draper out.
That's quite an amazing...
Now, what we don't know, in fairness, is he a bit banged up? Is he a little bit sore? Has he played too much
Did he look like it when you saw him play?
No way. He was the best.
That's a surprise.
Nah,
Yeah.
God.
Port Adelaide, well, we know...
I clearly don't know the game.
Yeah.
There you are.
We know Josh Sin is out with concussion. Christian Moraes, somebody mentioned him on Monday when we were chatting, and I said, look, he's probably at the stage that Joe Berry was at, where he needs to go back and have a full game at the sample level and really get his confidence back, which is great. He's had a real good taste of AFL footy now, and I like that. If you're going to play kids, don't just play them for one game, play them for a block, and they've done that for Christian. So he'll go back what would you say, a more knowledgeable person now of what he needs to do at that level, which is great.
Yep.
So in Logan Evans back, and he's definitely found form to deserve that, and Will Lorenz as well. So Will is a wingman, a natural wingman, so he'll be able to cover the Moraes position there. So that's the two changes for Port Adelaide in selection.
Can somebody bring in some tissues for me, please? There's just gunk all over my table.
Yeah, I'll get the
It's running down my lip.
So Adam Treloar returns as well for the Bulldogs, his first game of the season. So he'll take on Port Adelaide at Ballarat on the weekend. So there's a change for the Dogs, and 3 changes for Carlton as well. They have Sylvanian Williams declared unavailable during the week. Cottrell's been withdrawn. Just trying to get through the team. Lockie Cowan returns for his first game since round 4. They'll also call upon Sam Doherty, who's been in the reserves for a little bit, and Ollie Hollins will be back as well for the Blues. So those are the changes as we speak.
And again, Sid Draper's out. Crouch is out, Hinge out, Murray. We know that. There's a knee suspension in the hip. Butts, Smith, Berry and Fogerty in. I clearly don't know the game.
It's probably a very frustrating one, isn't it?
How much of an eye do you think every coach needs to have when you have a top 10 talent? To play them in the right spot, to nurture them, to grow them, to develop them, to make them... I mean, I don't know.
He's a kid that does all the right things. That's what you love about him.
I wonder... Well, they were there because I saw them. I saw Murray Davis and I saw Matty Nix in the grandstand behind me watching his first half.
You've got room to play him this week.
Well, of course you have.
That's right. He's been sub 4 of the 7 games this year. He's been involved in all 7 AFL games, Sid Draper. Obviously sub.
And look, he's a great kid, and they know his temperament. Is that the word? They know his character. So, look, they know what they're doing. Clearly I don't. Hello, Quentin with a Q.
Hey, fellas. How you doing?
Hey, good to see you, Quentin. I haven't seen you since Gather Round.
Oh, funny day. Hey, you know that was only the 3rd time I've seen the Gold Coast actually win a game.
Oh, really?
On the Gather Round. I saw their first game against Port. Sorry, Timmy.
Yes.
I saw them once in Melbourne, lucky enough to see them against the Bulldogs, and that was my third win that I saw them. First one.
There you go.
In Adelaide for a long time.
Well done.
You guys are just gifted that you get all these wins all the time. Hey, I'm talking about emotions before. You're talking about 8s and 10s and 2s and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to be about a 15 on Sunday night with this round Gold Coast and Brisbane playing.
Huge.
Which is going to be a huge game. And well done the AFL for putting that game on when they've got the Magic round up there at Brisbane as well.
Right, the Q clash. Good timing.
Quentin with a Q, have you lifted the lid? You're going to make top 8? You there? The Suns?
Hey, the lid, you'll hear it, and I'll play the song Sunday night if we win against Brisbane. We'll make top 8. If we win that game, we will make top 8.
We've got it ready.
A lot of people having a crack at me. So who would have you not had in for Sid Draper there? Well, let me just quickly go through it. Sid Draper is in front of Zach Taylor, who's named on the bench. Sam Berry. He's in front of Luke Nankervis on a wing.
Oh, that'll stop. That'll do.
Well,
3's enough. Yeah, 3's enough.
Well, I could nearly keep going.
I know you can.
Honestly, guys.
I know you can, but it's not their fault, those lads.
No. Nothing against those lads. You're saying to me, I put my selector's hat on, I've got him in front of them.
Well, that's going to be a big discussion point as we go into tomorrow's program. You'll be back at 4 o'clock, but thank you so much for joining us once again. We're going to get to the 6 o'clock news now, and next, Stefan Mork will join you as we get into the World Game.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Ready to be